When your cat stares at you from across the living room in the quiet of the evening, do you actually know what they are trying to say? Yes, it is adorable to watch them rest. But behind that familiar quiet gaze, there is something much deeper that most owners completely miss every single day. And if you misunderstand this silent language, which most owners do, you could be missing the most important emotional messages they have been trying to send you for years. You might even be secretly wondering if they truly love you at all, especially when they act distant, aloof, or seemingly independent for absolutely no obvious reason. Let us start with what their most subtle daily behaviors really mean, and how you have probably been reading their quiet physical signals completely backwards this entire time. 1. It was never about ignoring you. You are relaxing on the couch and your cat jumps up, settles down right next to you, and turns their back entirely. It feels a bit like a rejection, does it not? You might think they are annoyed, or that they want absolutely nothing to do with you in that moment. But that is not a cold shoulder. That is a highly tactical defense formation. In the wild, a cat is both a fierce predator and a vulnerable prey animal. Their back is their absolute biggest physical blind spot. By turning away from you, they are actively covering the rest of the room with their sharp eyes. They are doing this while trusting you entirely to guard their defenseless back from any unseen danger. They consider you their ultimate shield in a highly unpredictable world. According to animal behaviorists like John Bradshaw, this specific positioning means they feel secure enough to completely shut down their perimeter radar wherever you happen to be sitting. If they could put this profound trust into words, it would sound a lot like this. I know you will keep me completely safe from behind right now. I will watch the front for both of us, so you can just relax. You are the only creature in this house that I allow to guard my back. The next time they turn away, do not feel insulted. Gently rest your hand near them and appreciate the fact that they just named you their personal bodyguard. And by the way, if your cat ever completely stops doing these small, trusting rituals, it is not just a phase. We will get into that sudden shift later. 2. It is not an invitation to play. You are walking through the house and your cat suddenly drops down right in the middle of the hallway. They roll over onto the rug, stretching out completely and exposing their soft, fluffy belly right in front of your feet, looking incredibly cute and inviting. It looks like the ultimate request for a belly rub. But the moment you reach down to touch it, they bunny kick your hand or gently bite your fingers. You probably pull your hand back feeling incredibly confused, thinking you did something wrong, or that they suddenly got aggressive for absolutely no obvious reason at all. That is not aggression at all. That is a strict physical boundary being crossed. A cat's belly holds all their most vital and sensitive internal organs. Exposing it is the absolute highest form of physical vulnerability they can possibly offer to another living creature. It is the ultimate compliment they can give. Experts at International Cat Care explain that showing the belly is a silent declaration of profound trust, not a request for any kind of tactile stimulation. They are showing you their most fragile side, simply because they know for a fact that you will not take advantage of it and hurt them. If they could put this profound trust into words, it would sound like this. I feel so incredibly safe with you that I do not need my armor. Please do not poke me. Next time they roll over, just admire them. Give them a soft compliment instead of a hand, and watch how relaxed they remain. And hey, if this is already lifting some of that heavy owner guilt off your shoulders, hit like and subscribe so we can reach more cat parents who care. 3. They are not just tired. You are looking at your cat across the living room and they lock eyes with you from the other side. Then they slowly and deliberately close their eyes and open them again. It is incredibly easy to assume they are just getting sleepy after a very long day. Or you might think that the room is just a bit too bright and they are simply trying to focus their vision. But that is not fatigue. That is a brilliant vulnerability test. In the wild feline world, a prolonged, unblinking stare is a direct threat. Breaking eye contact is a huge risk in nature. Researchers at the University of Sussex scientifically proved that this deliberate slow blink is the absolute feline equivalent of a genuine, emotionally warm human smile. When they do this, they are actively choosing to lower their guard in your presence, telling you clearly that they feel absolutely no need to be alert. If they could put this profound trust into words, it would sound exactly like this. I drop all my defenses for you. I know you are kind. You can actually return the gesture. Next time they do it, slowly close your eyes back, and you might just share a silent, beautiful conversation with them. 4. It is not about keeping warm. You just took off your worn sweater or left a used towel on the bed and walked into another room. Within a few short minutes, your cat jumps up and is fast asleep right on top of it. You might easily think they just found a soft spot, or maybe you assume the fabric is simply holding on to some leftover body heat. But that is not about physical comfort. That is about claiming their identity. Your worn clothes are heavily saturated with your unique scent, which is their primary way of understanding the world and determining exactly who belongs in their family. Studies in applied animal behavior science strongly suggest that cats actively seek out their owner's specific scent to self-soothe when they are trying to completely relax. They use this familiar smell to calm their nervous system, wrapping themselves in your invisible presence to feel entirely safe and protected in their daily environment. By sleeping on your clothes, they are actively mixing their own scent with yours, creating a shared family profile that makes them feel deeply and emotionally anchored. If they could put it into words, it would sound exactly like this. Your smell is my absolute safe harbor. I want us to be one pack. So leave that slightly messy shirt on the bed. It is doing much more for their emotional well-being than a perfectly folded pile of laundry ever could. 5. They are not just scratching an itch. Your cat walks up to you, leans in heavily, and firmly bumps their forehead directly against your resting chin, or they rub their soft cheek aggressively against your nose or your shin. It looks like they are just being clumsy or asking for a head scratch, but that is not a random physical bump or a simple clumsy mistake. That is a highly deliberate and deeply emotional claiming ritual reserved only for family. Feline biology includes special scent glands located on their cheeks, their forehead, and around their mouth. These release comforting pheromones that our human noses cannot naturally detect. The International Society of Feline Medicine notes that this specific behavior, officially known as bunting, is reserved strictly for the most trusted members of their inner circle. By rubbing against you, they are physically marking you as their safe territory, overwriting the strange smells of the outside world with a stamp of pure affection. If they could put this profound trust into words, it would sound exactly like this. You belong to me. You are mine, and I am incredibly proud of it. When they push their little head into yours next time, lean back into it gently. You are actively accepting the absolute highest compliment they can possibly offer you. 6. They are not showing off their hunting skills. You wake up or walk into the room, and there is a toy mouse waiting right at your feet. Or maybe it is a crumpled paper ball, or sometimes something they caught outside. It is incredibly easy to think they are just bragging about their skills. You might assume they just want you to throw the toy for a quick game of fetch before you start your busy day. But that is not a boast. That is pure caretaking. In feral colonies, mother cats and close relatives bring food back to the den for kittens or members who cannot hunt for themselves. Research in animal cognition journals highlights that when domestic cats bring you items, they are treating you as a vital, beloved part of their own family group. They are essentially trying to provide for you, making absolutely sure their large, slightly clumsy human companion does not go hungry under their careful and loving watch. If they could put this instinctual care into words, it would sound like this. I caught this just for you. I will always make sure you are taken care of. Even if that special gift is just a dirty sock from the laundry basket, accept it with warm praise. They worked hard on that gift just for you. 7. The sudden silence is a loud alarm. This brings us to the moment I promised you at the start. What does it mean if they suddenly stop? If your normally affectionate cat suddenly stops sleeping on your worn clothes, headbutting your chin, or showing their belly, and completely withdraws from your daily routine together. Instead, you might find them hiding deep under the guest bed, squeezed tight behind the sofa, or refusing to come out of the dark closet for hours. It is incredibly easy to just brush this off and assume they are suddenly wanting some independence, acting a bit moody, or simply getting older and less playful. But a sudden behavioral shift like this is actually a massive red flag. In the wild, showing any physical sign of weakness makes a feline a prime target. So when they are injured, sick, or in real physical distress, their deepest primal instinct is to retreat into the shadows and hide completely from the world. Veterinary experts at the Cornell Feline Health Center explain that domestic cats are absolute masters at masking physical pain and hiding serious illness from their human caregivers. By the time you finally notice they have stopped all their daily affection rituals and entirely withdrawn from the family, the underlying medical problem is likely already severe. They might have already been suffering in complete silence for several days before their physical pain became too great to hide behind their normal, confident daily behavior. This sudden isolation is absolutely not them rejecting your love. It is their desperate way of protecting themselves when their small body feels incredibly vulnerable and weak. If they could put this scary, isolating feeling into words, it would sound exactly like this. Please do not take my sudden physical distance personally right now. I really do not feel well at all, and I am currently far too weak to properly protect myself from the big, loud world out there today. I desperately need to hide in the dark so I can stay safe while my body tries to heal. I need you to understand my sudden silence. This is exactly why you must never ignore a sudden drop in their normally affectionate behavior. It is essentially a silent plea for your immediate help and protection. Do not just wait around for them to snap out of it, or offer them extra treats, hoping their bad mood will magically improve on its own. You are their ultimate guardian. Step up and take them to the vet immediately to get checked, because your quick action could literally end up saving their life. This is a creature that still carries the ancient, deeply ingrained survival instincts of their wild ancestors. In their natural world, trust is a matter of life and death. They are naturally wired to be constantly alert, always guarding their vulnerable back, always ready to run, and never letting their guard down for a single solitary moment. Yet, despite thousands of years of fierce predatory instinct telling them to stay absolutely vigilant, they look at you and make a completely different, truly beautiful choice. They choose to close their eyes when you are near. They choose to sleep on your worn clothes, wrapping themselves entirely in the safety of your personal scent. They choose to turn their back to the room, knowing with absolute certainty that you will always stand directly behind them and act as their ultimate protector. They do not give this level of profound affection to just anyone who happens to fill their food bowl. They are fiercely selective about who they truly love. They do not trust easily in a world that is so much bigger and louder than they are. But against all of their ancient wild instincts, they chose you. They chose to trust you completely, with all of their fragile vulnerabilities. You are not just their human, you are their family, and you are their absolute safe place.